Well, Derek's going to be in the Open now.
Let's go through the list.
Lee Priest is on it.
Oh, well, is there something you haven't been telling us?
Mm. Who added that on there? Wisely, did you add that in?
No.
What's that on?
It's Olympia.com.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you put yourself in there?
Is that the actual list? Oh, let me take this for the circles so I can ask the circles. Great news, circles. I'm competing at the 212 at the Olympia. Look, we're going through. Show people this is the actual Olympia page. The Olympia page. Here it is. Go to the 212 competitor list. 212 qualified. Keep scrolling. What is this? Congratulations, Lee Priest. You're in the fucking 212. Wow. Can you screenshot and send that to me just so I have proof that I am competing at this year's 212? Oh well, I better get my ass in shape. Lee Priest.
But you're flying in December.
And this is the actual Olympia page, isn't it? There you have it. Dun, dun, dun. Lee Priest is in the 212. Thank you very much. I'm going to do a quick video. I don't know, do a video of it. But yeah. Breaking news, people. For all my fans, you'll be happy to know I'm competing in the 212 at this year's Olympia. I've just been to the page here, shown the page. The Olympia, this is their website, MrOlympia.com. The 212 Olympia competitor list. Here it comes. Sean, Derek, Lee Priest, Australia. Lee Priest is doing the Olympia. I just found out the same time or you found out. I better get my ass together. Here it is. I wonder why it's on there.
Look.
What? Did you put it in?
Yeah.
Who are your predictions for Olympia?
Oh. I'm thinking Rami, number one. After that, no idea. There's too many in it. There's like 35 guys in it this year. And really, when you think about it, whoever's going to come in shape could possibly... There's probably 10, 12 guys who could possibly be in the top 5 if they're in shape, so... You can't really pick it till the day. Like, you see the photos leading up and... You know, so many people look good. You got Bonac.
Okay, could you call out the 10 that you think could win it?
Nick Walker. Hardy. Hunter. Sampson. Bonac. Ian could be up in the top 3. I don't know if he could win it. Who else we got there? That Raphael guy could be in top 6. Clarita, he's doing the 212 now. Brendan Curry, of course. I don't think Nathan's in it. Nathan Asher's not in it. I think there's a few names that aren't on there still.
And I guess the next question I'd like to ask, where do you think you would place if you were in, you know, some of your best shapes?
I'd say top 6. Only going on who I competed with back in the day and placed top 6 with. I competed against some big names back then and big guys, so I think it's quite possible
me at my best with those people, I could be top 6 still.
And if you were competing today, would you compete in the Open or the 212s? Considering that lineup?
I'd have to look at considering what you go through, training-wise, mentally, physically, I'd go by... See, it wouldn't be the 212 title. It'd be more like if I was to place 6 in the Open, would that be a lot more money than winning the 212? So I'd probably go where the money was. And getting 6 in the Open lineup with names like that would probably be more respectable than even, okay, you win the 212, people go, oh, the 212.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what position in the Opens does the winner of the 212 equate to, in your opinion?
It's hard because Sean Clarita, he won the 212 once, Olympia, and then he did that Open thing and he beat Sergio and Kluko and that, so... I sometimes think now, because there is a 212 category, I think sometimes now that if there wasn't, where someone like Clarita and that might have been judged higher if there was just the one class still. But now they've got the 2 classes. I think when 212s try and do the Open, they're sort of like, you've got your class, you should be down there, so they don't judge them as good, even though the 212 could look a lot better than some of the Open.
Do you think that, in your opinion, is the 212 good or bad in that, you know, shouldn't it be that, like, bodybuilding's for everyone?
I prefer me personally, I prefer if they didn't have it. Because, like, they never had it back when I was competing. It was like, it's the best of the best. And if you're, like Labrada, he weighed, like, in the 180s. He was placing second in the Mr. Olympia and stuff like that. So if you're a good enough lighter guy that has the muscle to shape and that, you can still do well. So I'd rather they didn't have it. That way, it's just, hey, if you're good enough to be in the Open, Mr. Olympia, and do high, win it, place high, you're good enough. We shouldn't have to make a class because you can't do good. And then we have all the other classes they keep making for people where, okay, well, you're not really a good bodybuilder. You're more physique. Even though you take lots of gear, you can't get that big, but so we'll make a class for you too. And there's so many, you know, classes now in all different walks of life, but I preferred it when it was just the one Mr. Olympia. And like I said, if you're good enough to be up there, you're good enough to be up there. We don't need to dumb it down so you can feel good about yourself.
And considering that what Jay Cutler said about you, how he still reckons that you're when he first saw you in your 20s, that you're the freakiest
he's ever seen.
And considering the guys that he competed and trained with, I think it is a bit like the fact that size. I mean, I know it's like it's a muscle show, but it should all be relative.
Yeah,
like
it is all relative because even, like I said, okay, even Dillette used to always say pound for pound. If we went pound for pound and height and that, Lee's one of the biggest bodybuilders out there, even though I'm not 300 like some guys were and stuff like that. If you go on pound for pound and your height and the body weight, because Paul used to say, well, if Lee was my height, he'd be like 400 pounds on stage. So. Yeah. I think it's all relevant. So I think, yeah, I'd rather it just still be the one, or then if they do have the 2, I think it would be exciting at the end to have the winner of the 212 and the Open pose down like they used to sometimes with Franco and Arnold, and see how they go side by side. So
yeah, and look, ultimately it's not fighting where if you put a
heavyweight up against a middleweight guy or something, yeah.
Yeah, it's a show based on muscle mass and symmetry.
Size, proportion, conditioning and that, yeah. And so, sometimes too, okay, the taller guy or say the bigger guy, like Rami, who's could be massive, might have the mass, but yet the guy who's smaller could be more balance all over. He might have calves, legs, everything, whereas the bigger guy could be missing something, but you're just like in awe because, oh, he's so big. Put him beside a guy who's completely
Yeah.
balanced like Labrada was, and he'll show up the bigger guy's flaws. So, yeah, I wish it was just the one still, but
Yeah.